my shorts.
Welcome to the Dave Lee Down Under podcast. I'm, of course, your host, Dave Lee, and this is episode 10. 10th episode. Oh, we got off to a little bit of a rocky start again. If you're watching, you just see me bang my knee on the table as I went to sit down. It's really sore. Oh, we're here with Rick Lee. Old mate Rick. Old mate Rick once again. Oh, I'm out of it already. Old mate Rick joins us once again. Thank you.
Howdy.
Of course, this episode is going out on all podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spoodle. What is happening? Spotify. What's happening? Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon, and Audible. We're on Amazon and Audible.
Oh,
we've done it. Yes,
Amazon.
We've done it.
God, that took forever.
I did a search this morning. How
long did that take? A month or so?
Like 3 or 4 weeks. I jumped on there this morning, did a little search, Amazon, Dave Lee Down Under Pod. It's there. So Amazon and Audible, which Amazon owns Audible, which is like their ebook thing.
Oh, okay.
So we're on there. We're on there. So exciting. Of course, you can find me at YouTube at Dave Lee Down Under and over on Twitter and Instagram at Dave Lee Down Under. Otherwise, there's the links in the description of every single podcast, no matter what platform it's on. So you can just click through there and then go and follow me, whatever else. If you want to write into the show, you can shoot an email to daveleepod@gmail.com. And if you're listening on podcast platforms, please leave a review and a rating.
Only the good reviews.
Only the good ones, because they help. The bad ones don't help.
No, not at all.
No good. I found a way to see the international reviews, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, I found some website that, compiles them all.
Are they slagging us off?
No, they're good ones.
Oh, whew.
They're all good ones so far. Good. Which is good. I don't know if it's all of them, though, because I've seen some that are on the Australian page that haven't shown up on this website. So, I don't know, if anyone out there is listening, in the US or the UK or anywhere, we've got big fan base across Europe. Oh, I say big, but we have people listening across Europe.
Four people.
Probably, yeah. Send in, screen grabs and stuff to me of your localized Apple Podcast app. I'd like to see the reviews from the international reviews would be quite good. Yeah.
They can probably really hook into us over there.
Probably.
We can't get to them.
No, exactly right. Well, it's 24 hours on a plane, and at the moment, the borders are locked, so good luck.
Exactly right. Not leaving Melbourne at the moment.
No, I know, it's crazy. But once again, old mate Rick is co-hosting with me today, so thank you for joining me.
Not a problem.
I got my intro a little bit mixed up today just all over the place.
Hitting your knee on the way in didn't help.
That didn't help at all. That's thrown me out.
Shook you.
It shook me so far that I created a new podcasting platform.
Shook you to the bone.
I know. And there's a new podcasting platform, Poodle Podcasts.
No, it wasn't Poodle. Spoodle. You're still stuffing it up.
No, I know. Lord's sake. Oh, well, that's patented now. I'm going to put a copyright on that. Spoodle Podcasts.
Oh, there you go. That's a good little name for a podcast.
Jeez. We said...
Sounds like some little weird dog mixed with a poodle.
Weird, I don't know, something mixed with the poodle.
Some
spaniel.
A spaniel and a
poodle.
It's probably actually a breed. have a look.
Spoodle. It's oh no. Yes, a cockapoo.
A cockapoo.
Cockapoo is also known as a spoodle.
Oh, bloody hell.
Lord, Spoodle.
Good name for a podcast platform, though.
Spoodle, yeah. Don't steal it.
Should have said that. Some bastards can pinch it now and trademark it and we're done.
Bastards. Well, I'm going to get to it first. Now, we said...
Do it right now.
Yeah. We said Melbourne, we said borders are closed, but we're opening up.
Yeah.
We're freeing up a little bit, which is lovely.
Yeah, it's nice. We've had a few what's been dubbed double donut days.
Oh, yeah.
7 days in a row where we've had no recorded cases in Melbourne and no deaths.
Of course, we record this
Magnificent.
We record this on a Friday, so today is 7th day in a row.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So it's nice. Well, I mean, we're expecting probably numbers to start fluctuating again at some point.
Oh, there'll still be cases, but, getting down to 7 days of zero is magnificent.
That's brilliant.
Melburnians, well done.
Beautiful.
We've done a great job.
Good job, guys. Good job. Oh, brilliant. We did very good. So it's like we got a little bit of freedom.
It was tough to get there, but, now we're there. It's
mentally taxing.
So we sort of get out and about a little bit now, and hopefully there's another announcement on Sunday, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, apparently they're significant.
A bit more relaxing of restrictions. Yeah. At the moment, we're only allowed 25 Ks from home.
Which is better than the 5K.
Which is better than the 5K we have here. And chances are, I reckon that'll be dropped.
Yeah, probably.
What else they do, who knows?
Who knows? We can visit people, just like restrictions on how many people you're allowed to have visiting and stuff like that. But we're feeling a little bit more free here in Melbourne, which is good. You can
and the New South Wales government announced a couple of days ago they're going to open the border so we can actually go to New South Wales on the 23rd, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
I think so. And I heard yesterday that South Australia as well will open their border to Victoria again.
Very good.
In the next 2 weeks or so. So Victorians, you can get out of the state, but don't stay home. Stay home. Stay home in Victoria. Go holiday in Victoria and help out our own.
Yeah.
Like regional towns
exactly right.
have been hit really badly, and we need to look after those people and keep some money within the state.
Yeah. Well, it's far from over, but we're doing well.
Doing really better than a lot of countries.
Better than a lot of places.
Well, I mean, we're lucky we're coming into summer.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And you got the northern hemisphere like the US and the UK and everything else are recording really like I think yesterday was it the US 100 in the last 24 hours 102,000 new recorded cases or something
like that. It's nuts.
Something ridiculous,
Yeah.
Like, can't fathom that amount of people. That's the MCG full.
Yeah. The for those listening, internationals, if you don't know, MCG, Melbourne Cricket Ground here in Australia. It's like our main sport venue, 100,000 seater.
A bit over 100,000.
Yeah.
So that's a full house at the MCG.
That's crazy. So, far from over. Internationals, continue to stay safe, continue to take it easy. People in Australia continue to don't get complacent because we see what happens when there's complacency. But
exactly right.
It's okay. And one great thing, we got to JB Hi-Fi for the first time in who knows how many months. At least, since June.
When were we going to the second lockdown?
June, July. Had to have been.
July.
It
was July.
Yeah.
So it's been, 4 or 5 months?
Yeah.
Been able to buy stuff from JB and have it sent home and stuff, and you can go and do the click and collect and you sit in your car and they bring it out to your car. We've actually been able to go in store. And in fact, you got so game yesterday. You actually went to 2 different stores.
I went to 2 JBs.
And that's big for you.
I know. Yeah, I went to 2. I got out. Well, I'm just ready to get out. I'm comfortable enough to get out now.
Yeah.
Which is good. But it's like, the second one we went to, there was no one there. You just stick to your section and just kind of stay back a little bit. They had the 20% off. Of course, JB Hi-Fi, I'm sure everyone listening knows, but if there's anyone who's not, JB Hi-Fi is like our big retail, like media goods and hardware.
Like a
Best Buy or HMV over in the UK. Sort of thing. So, so we went to JB twice. One store didn't have everything that we were after, so I went to the second one, 20% off sale, and got buying.
Yeah.
Which is lovely.
Didn't go overboard though.
No.
You spent a couple hundred and
I
think I spent probably $40 or $50 maybe.
Yeah, something like that. But that was good. That was good. Podcast news this week. Oh, we've been on the charts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You haven't told me this. What's
No. We're charting at the moment. Now, I'm not going to make a big deal about it because it's probably not a huge deal. But we've been charting in the film reviews category on just podcasts in general.
Oh, that's nice.
So in Australia, this changes day to day. It's like a daily thing. It kind of changes. I guess it's depending on how many people are listening to what podcasts on what days. So in Australia, we've been charting in the film reviews category. We're at number 17. That's the highest I've seen. The first time I saw it was 45.
Wow.
Next I saw 17. We're apparently at number 45 of all time in the film reviews category in Australia.
Was there 46 people?
Probably.
Is there?
Yeah. That's just weird. And then there's the other category, which is film and TV. We're in the top 100, which is awesome.
Brilliant.
Yeah. We're also charting in film reviews albeit in lower positions, overseas, in the UK, USA. We're at number 34 in Canada. And the Netherlands, we're at number 19.
But you've got a fairly good following in the Netherlands, haven't you?
Yeah, Netherlands,
a few people over there.
Huge. And we're like 22 of all time in that film reviews category in the Netherlands. Yeah, I've got a lot of like from Greater Europe followers, which is awesome.
Nordic sort of area,
Yeah, I love the Netherlands. I've been there. Great place. Well, I've been to Amsterdam. Didn't really get out of Amsterdam.
You only went for the red light district.
Geez, that's an experience. But lovely, beautiful country. I'd love to get out beyond, a few years' time when we can
the country areas.
Get out back into Europe. Yeah, beautiful. Like the big windmills and stuff.
Do a little yodeling and
with
splashing around in the snow
with all the culture. Beautiful.
Freezing to death.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's a bit of good news. We've had a bit of chart. We've been on the charts a little bit, which is great. I don't know how significant that is, but it's nice to see after only 10 shows, which is good. So this is, did I say that at the time?
Yeah,
episode 10.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I was supposed to, but I
stuffed that up at the start.
Yeah, bang my knee. This
like
is the 10th episode. Awesome. A bit more disappointing news with the podcast front. I found out about a thing called patron dodgers this week.
Oh, yeah. Heard about this.
These are people, apparently it's very common, rampant. People will sign up to a patron and then drop off before they get charged.
What do they do that just to get their naming credits?
Well, yeah, essentially what happens is you can sign up to Patreon and you get access to everything as soon as you sign up. Usually Patreon will charge them on the first of the month. So if you sign up, it won't charge you until the first of the next month.
So if you sign up on the 2nd of the month,
you get a whole month. Free, essentially, right? And what people do is they either give a card that doesn't have money on it or whatever, so it bounces back, or they cancel their subscription just before they get charged. And I had that happen recently, 4 or 5 people. And with me, one of my things that I say is you can get your name in the credits if you're a patron, right? So all these people getting on there, get their name in the credits, getting perks for everything for a month, and then they drop off. So what I've found out is there's actually an option to charge up front. Good. So I've had to flick that on. I'm sure I saw that in the past and just thought, oh no, I won't do that. Look, most of the patrons, 98% of people are very honest and great people, and thank you for all your support. But there are people who are patron dodging, as they call it. Just disappointing. That's a bit disappointing.
Bloody dodgers.
It's all right. It's okay. But yeah, I flicked that little thing on. So now if you are going to sign up to the Patreon, you'll get charged up front, and you will get your name in the credits as soon as that payment's cleared or whatever. But yeah. This week...
What a weird thing to do, though.
That is such a strange thing.
For $1.
I know.
A month.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's just nuts.
I know. At least just follow through with the dollar.
Oh, God. People are tight as fish's asses.
I know. It's crazy. It's so crazy. But like I said, 98% of patrons are great. And they are... Look, a lot of people, you do get people drop off, financial situations change and stuff. That's completely fine.
Of course.
But if you're Patreon dodging, if you're just signing up to get free shit and then you drop off, that's a bit dodgy. Come on, guys. But yeah, moving along. This week, what have we watched? I haven't watched anything incredibly exciting this week. I finished off, of course, I've been watching the Universal Monsters films over the last few weeks, over Halloween. I just felt like watching them. So I finished them off. I finished with the Creature from the Black Lagoon films. Awful. The first one's...
they're pretty bad.
First one's really good.
The first one's great.
And the other ones are just so
it's dodgy as hell. Particularly today's standard. But it's a great little film.
Oh, they're fun. They're fun, but they're just so bad.
But the sequels and shit, it's just garbage.
I capped off my...
They're so bad you sort of think they were made deliberately bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, a lot of them had to have been. The last one I rounded out with was a sci-fi horror called This Island Earth. Really bad.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, you'd recognise the monster from it, the alien, like just like a guy in like a big foam suit.
Oh, Jesus!
It's fun. It's a fun movie, but yeah, just really bad. There were a few others I wanted to watch, but I've been watching the Imprint, the new Imprint line from Viavision. I've got them. Like, if you're watching, you can see it. Like, they've sent so many this month. There's like 3 box sets. 4 box sets, and then 5 individual titles. There's like I don't know, like 10 or 11 films there that I have to get through so I can review them this month. So I'll be doing that. So I'm just kind of going through that. I watched the Bob Hope collection, which had 2 films.
I was going to say, the Bob Hope collection doesn't look very big. How many?
No, there's 2.
Just 2 films.
There's 2 in the Bob Hope collection.
Not much of a collection.
No. But there's 2 films, Cat and Canary and The Ghost Breakers, both a lot of fun. And then Essential Film Noir collection I'm into at the moment. Oh, I love my film noir. So I'm watching them, and then I'm going to go into like the individual ones and stuff. And there's a lot I've got to get through. I have to review them. So
when did you get those during the week? Something did you?
Yeah, I got the box sets. Viavision sent me the box sets because it was such a huge wave. I wasn't able to get everything from them. They said make a selection. So I got the box sets, and then I went out and bought the individual ones from JB yesterday. So I'll review all of them in like a big video. Probably next week. I don't know. As soon as I can get through them all, as soon as possible, really. So that's fun going through all that stuff. As far as like newer movies, we've watched 21 Bridges. We watched last week. Was that one with Chadwick Boseman, the cop one? Yeah.
God, got to remind me, David.
The cop film where he was a cop. He was a cop, and it was happened over one night. J.K. Simmons. Yep. It was okay.
It was all right. I enjoyed it.
He was very good. He's very good.
JK's always going to love JK.
And Chadwick Boseman, of course. Fantastic. Brilliant.
Yeah. Was that the last film he made?
It's not the last one. There's another one coming to Netflix called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom or something, I think. Which is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. That's coming to Netflix. It looks incredible. Looks so good.
But I thought 21 Bridges, throughout the film, you could actually see him progressively getting thinner and thinner, and
looked really quite ill, didn't he?
Yeah, towards the end.
Yeah, which was
and kudos to him,
oh man, like powering through it,
being able to do what he did in that film. Yeah, and he was quite obviously quite ill.
Yeah,
and nobody probably knew.
Oh no one knew at all.
So
yeah, insane.
So that alone is worth worth watching.
Well, I read an interview with someone who was in Ma Rainey. I can't remember who the actor was, but said they thought he was like a real prima donna on set because he had people looking after him and just like massaging him during takes and just, real, like obviously looking after him and stuff, and just didn't know why.
Oh.
And he said after it all, it was like, oh shit, well, it makes sense now.
You know why, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like we've said before, the guy's like commitment to his craft is just unmatched. Insane. But he's very good in that movie.
Could not question his work ethic.
No way. Amazing.
Right up till the end.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
We also watched The Good Liar.
Yep.
Which is that one with Ian McKellen and Helen Mirren.
Yes. That's right.
That was fun.
That was good fun. I enjoyed that.
It went a bit weird at the end. Like the last, half an hour, a bunch of twists and turns and stuff, and it starts getting a bit.
I'd already picked what was
so predictable. So predictable, but it's so fun. I really enjoyed it.
The funny thing was, your mother didn't pick it.
No, and
she normally does. Yeah. She normally picks it an hour out from the end of the film.
Yeah.
Well, she does anyway. She does. I know.
I'll
do that an hour ago. But I actually did this time. Yeah. I normally don't. I normally just watch the film for the entertainment. It's so predictable. And don't try and read anything into it.
Yeah.
And that's what I find, you sort of enjoy film a lot more by doing it that way. You don't try and read into the film. You just go along with the ride and just enjoy it for what it is. Mm-hmm. But this one I could see what was unfolding.
It's so predictable. Whatever. Such a predictable film, but it's fun. But
it's fun.
Even if you know
really enjoyable. I enjoyed it.
I mean, that's the fun in rewatching movies you like anyway. You know how it's going to end, but it's fun. It's fun to get there. It's fun to experience. It was just a fun movie. Just two silly old people just being silly, really. Yep. Yep. It wasn't like completely. It gets a bit dark towards the end. Gets a bit heavier, but
just a bit.
But the lead up to it, is just so. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. It's a really, really good, really enjoyable, just easy to watch film.
Yeah, it was good.
Really good. And we also watched The Spectacular Now, which is a film from like 6 or 7 years back. Miles Teller, Shailene Woodley, Brie Larson, the coach. What's his name? Kyle Chandler.
Yeah.
Who else? So many people in it. Bob Odenkirk, Saul.
Yeah, that's right.
Briefly, all these people just kind of popped in and out of it. There's a few people in it. I loved it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Good cast, good little story.
Yeah, fantastic.
I really quite enjoyed that.
It's one of those little like,
and it's funny to watch. It's funny to watch someone like Brie Larson, who's now Miss Marvel,
Captain Marvel,
whatever you call it. Yeah. And seeing her from when was it 2000?
Yeah, well, 6-7 years ago, whatever it was.
2012 or 2013 or something. And she looks really very young in it.
Yeah. But it's funny, like she's been doing stuff for years. Like she was in like Scott Pilgrim, which was years before that even. And one of my friends even, Lockie, sent me a photo the other day. I can't remember what movie he was watching. It was 13 Going on 30, which is called, I can't remember what that's called in the States. The one with Jennifer Garner. It's got a different name in the States.
Yeah, it has.
Suddenly 30 or something? Suddenly 30.
Something like that.
It was released here as Suddenly 30, 13 Going on 30 overseas. Yeah. And she's in that. And he sent me a picture. He's like, what? Brie Larson's in this. Like, really young.
Wow.
But she's done, like, heaps of stuff.
That would have been 20 years ago.
I was early high school. 2004. Very close to 20 years ago. Well, almost fallen off my chair then. Yeah, but I loved that movie. That was really good. But yeah, she's in that and just really young. But she's been doing stuff for years. And it's quite funny. Mark Ruffalo's in that as well. I mean, look how young he looks in that.
Oh, my God.
So it's funny that I'm on Google Images here. It's crazy. It's funny to go back and see these people. There she is. There's Brie Larson right there, very young. But it's funny, like all these people who are like rocketed to fame in the last 5 years. Yeah. And then it's funny to go back 10, 15, 20 years and see them popping up in all these movies and you're like, oh my gosh, they're so young. Just even like Miles Teller in that film, it was like, geez, he looks so young.
I love Miles Teller.
He's so good. He's very good. But yeah, brilliant movie. I love that.
A real sort of relaxed style about his acting, hasn't he?
Yeah, just chill.
Yeah.
Just chill. Brilliant.
Suits the Australian way of life, I think.
Yeah. So that was movies-wise. We watched 3 last weekend. TV-wise, we smashed through some tally this week.
Oh, did we what?
We finished Jack Whitehall, Travels with My Father. That was a lot of fun. That's 3rd season or 4th season? Whatever the new season is.
4th,
I think. The Australian season. Very, very good. Very fun. And then we watched Emily in Paris on Netflix.
It wasn't as good as the other series, though, like the
What's
earlier
that?
ones.
Travels, no.
Yeah.
There was only like 2 parts. But the last season, I think they did 2 parts as well. The earlier ones are really good.
But I can't get over his old man carrying that doll around.
Winston. It's so funny.
Oh, my God.
What a character.
A weirdo.
Yeah. Oh, what an absolute character.
I enjoyed it, though. It was really good fun.
Yeah.
But they didn't come to Melbourne, though.
No, they didn't. It was like Sydney and Queensland.
Mongrels. And Central Australia.
And of course. Went to the
Ayers Rock.
Big Red Rock.
Well, it's not Ayers Rock. Called Ayers Rock.
Uluru.
It's Uluru, yeah.
Uluru. Well, it's always been Uluru. But now we don't call it.
Now we don't call it Ayers Rock.
Strip that commercial name off it, yeah. Emily in Paris we watched on Netflix, which is a series with Lily Collins. That was enjoyable. It's been getting a lot of slack on Twitter and stuff. It's a bit trashy, but it's fun.
It's just really easy to watch late at night. You know, you can sort of sit and you can watch multiple episodes.
Well, we watched 4 in one night and then 6 the next. We finished it in 2 days.
Yeah.
They're only like 25, 30-minute episodes, so it was enjoyable. I liked it. Creator of Sex and the City, I think. Nothing I ever watched. You watched it.
Yeah.
You and Mum watched it. I was obviously very young, too young for that at the time. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was quite good. Lily Collins is good fun.
As you said, it wasn't brilliant. There was nothing great about it, but it was enjoyable.
Just a bit of filler until we find some really good stuff to watch.
And there's a second season being done too, isn't there?
Yeah, apparently. So that'll be
interesting. It's a what do you call it? It doesn't follow her.
No, you're thinking of that the Anna Kendrick one we watched.
Oh, that's right.
Love Life.
Watching so many.
Just all running into each other.
Bloody
hell. We
it's just I'm getting old.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. We started The Queen's Gambit. We've done 3 episodes of that.
Isn't that a weird show?
It's weird, yeah.
But it's enjoyable, though.
It's strange, yeah. Anna Taylor-Joy is the lead in that. She's very good. Very enjoyable show. Just weird. You just don't know where it's going. That's the good thing about it. It's like you just can't predict where it's going.
It's almost like you're watching a suspenseful horror film.
Yeah, it's weird.
And you don't know what she's going to do next.
Yeah.
You think she's going to
just go off the rails.
Pull a knife out and take the people. Or,
well, who knows? It's weird. Weird character. She's like a chess player, like a prodigious chess player. And I just can't predict it. Yeah, it's good. It's good fun. Yeah. 3 episodes. I think it's like 7. It's a limited series, so they're only doing the one season of it. So essentially, it's like a film, like a mini, like a tally film. Yeah. It's in 7 parts.
So it's like a prodigy. Chess player at the age of 12 or 13 or something.
Yeah, and then it like charts over a few years.
Yeah, it's quite good. Quite really fun. Quite enjoying it.
Get onto it. Now we can't say too much. Be careful. We've watched a few more episodes of Marvel 616, which is the new Disney Plus Marvel documentary series, and we're embargoed for like 2 weeks on that. So we will speak more about that. I'll do a review. I've got an interview coming up with Paul Scheer, comedic actor. He directed one of the episodes. And Sarah Amos, who's one of the executive producers on the show, interviewed both of them. That'll be up in a couple of weeks when the embargo lifts.
That was last week, wasn't it? You interviewed?
Yeah, interviewed last week. Yeah, last Friday.
But you can't do anything with it just yet.
I can't. I've got the footage. I can cut it together, but I can't put it up yet. So yeah, that. So we're watching that. Can't say whether we're enjoying it or not, but we've watched a few of them. But what else we watched last week? Of course, The Mandalorian.
Started last Friday.
Last Friday, yes.
Second episode tonight.
Yes. Very
exciting. Because,
of
course, it's a Friday.
Well, yeah, by the time this goes out, it's already up.
Yep.
But yeah, man, very good. Very good.
Yeah, it was enjoyable.
I loved it.
And they seem to be going a little further with it this year.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing with some of these things. You've got to be careful how quickly you push. And that's like that real Marvel kind of, what do you call it?
Philosophy.
The philosophy is like, don't push too quick. Yeah. Just set up your characters. And this is something they didn't do with the Star Wars sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
So obviously you've got Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni who are show running this, and obviously they're like, take it easy. We've got a plan. They obviously have a plan, which is you can't be said about the Star Wars sequel trilogy.
Yep.
But The Mandalorian, they obviously got this plan, and they're like, all right, take that first season to kind of set up some characters, set up the story. They didn't really do a lot of this. Obviously, quite a bit of fan service, but not a whole lot of it. And then it's almost like as soon as you hit season 2, it's like, all right, put in the, going to full throttle and just get into it.
Go for it now.
You got characters coming into it from the old films, just iconography. From both prequels, sequels, you've got like pod racing, you've got pet droids, you've got
that was incredible.
So good.
So as soon as you saw him go into
Tatooine,
the first thing I said to you was, we're going pod racing, and then the next shot, there's a couple of pit droids fixing up a bloody pod racer.
So good,
brilliant.
Yeah, so you got a bit of both. I like it that it's obviously set after the sequel, the original trilogy, but it's pulling elements from everywhere, which is something the sequels didn't really. They were like a little bit more hesitant to do. So I think we had
a pod racing game, didn't we? Was it on the PC or was it
I think there was
like the PS2
we played.
or something.
Nan had the Nintendo 64 version, and then we had the PC version.
Yeah,
so we kind of played a bit of both.
For hours. I loved that.
Yeah, such a good fun game.
It was
so
good fun.
So yeah, The Mandalorian, very excited for episode 2. Again, I'm not getting too spoiler heavy yet because I understand there's probably some people out there who still haven't seen it. I, for one, I was in the UK when Mandalorian season 1 came out, so I had to wait until I was home because Disney Plus wasn't over there at the time, and we just smashed that full season. I was so lucky I avoided most spoilers for that. So I know there's a lot of people out there who haven't got to it. So, but yeah, very enjoyable. You'll love it. I wasn't a huge fan of the first season, but very, very enjoyable. This second one so far, anyway. What's that sound? Oh, you did it! You did it again. Beautiful. It is the Deadwood update.
Yeah, well, huge update this week.
Get ready for it, guys. Huge update. I need a drum roll. I don't have one yet.
1 episode.
Oh,
only 1 episode this week. Have been watching too much other shit.
Yeah.
We watched 1 episode after last week's. What did we watch last week? 3. That was our record.
That was the record.
And this week was a low light.
Yeah.
And it was a low light. It was a shit
It was
episode.
awful.
It was terrible.
So, like, again, if you haven't been listening, if you haven't been regularly listening, we're just trying to power through Deadwood. It's like the third time we've attempted to watch it over the years, and I think this week kind of exemplified why.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to get into.
Yeah, the first season was good, and the first 2 or 3 episodes of this season, second season were good. But that episode, which is episode 7, season 2, was boring as batshit.
Well, we've had some backlash over our Deadwood update. We've had some have been complaining, namely my friend Jackson, a.k.a. Wacko Jacko. He's been complaining that
he's going to hate you for that.
Yeah, he will. He's been complaining. He complains every week. There's something about the podcast he complains about every week. We talked about him in the past. He got annoyed that I used too many sound effects, and now he's getting annoyed about the Deadwood update. Anyway, apparently every week we do a Deadwood update, and we say, we watched 2 episodes, but then we don't say whether we've actually enjoyed it or not. But yeah, so look, when Deadwood is at its high points, it's really good. When it's at its low points... Oh,
exactly right. It's a really good show, but there are parts in it that are just boring as batshit.
When it's at its low points, it's just a slog.
That episode we watched a couple nights ago was boring as batshit.
So boring. You were falling asleep. I was getting distracted. It's just boring.
Maybe we just watched it too late at night.
Probably. You got to not put it on so late.
But we will persist and we will get through it.
We'll get through it. We're not going to slow down.
No.
You hit an episode like that and you're almost like, I don't feel like watching that again.
Yeah.
But
in the hope that the next episode is not going to be the same.
Yeah. We'll get there. We'll push through it. We'll push through it and we'll get to the end. We're like halfway through.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
And you bought the movie a few weeks ago, so
we have to.
We have to
got to get through it.
We have to do it.
But season 3, did that come to a? I had a feeling it might have sort of come to a rushed end, didn't it? That's why they did the movie.
Well, no, they did. They did 3 seasons and it just got axed in the off season, so they never even. It's not like they rushed an ending.
Okay.
It just stopped. And the original plan was I think they'd written the last season and they retooled it into 2 movies that they were going to air on telly, and it was all go. And then something happened and HBO pulled the plug. And then they pulled down the set because they left the set up for ages, apparently, in hopes they were going to go back and do the movies.
Well, I'm hoping because it got sacked at the end of the 3rd season, I'm hoping the rest of it's not like episode 7 of season 2.
Well, who knows?
Maybe that's why.
Oh, Lord. I don't know.
Because it was boring as batshit.
We'll find out. But anyway, so they pulled the set down and then it was like, there's no point going back and do it again. The set doesn't exist. But eventually, obviously, they've gone back. They rebuilt the set and they did the movie to kind of wrap it up.
God.
Like 15 years later. And apparently the movie's not that great, so
that'd be right.
That's how we go.
What sort of ratings does it have?
I don't know. I don't know if I've looked.
Not game enough to look.
No. It has been a slow week for movie news. The US election is going on at the moment. While as we're recording this, it's still going. It's still going.
Yep. Was it 2 days later?
2 days later.
Because it was Wednesday.
Wednesday for us.
Wednesday here for us. Tuesday in America, obviously.
Yeah. So it's still going at the time of recording. As the time that this goes out, there's probably either a new or a
close to
returning president. Close at the moment. So there's either going to be someone in power. There's going to be a new American Civil War going on.
My God.
Not the good, like Marvel Civil War kind either. So who knows? But at the time that this is going out, this is a bit...
Well, there's already a civil war happening. There's a political civil war.
Well, yeah, exactly right. We don't want to get too far into politics. But I feel like because the election is going on, studios have been a little bit more hesitant to sort of put out news and stuff. It'll either get washed under the rug. I think it'd be a bit... what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Probably not quite right to put out like news. Hey, look, let's announce a movie while all this other shit's going on.
Inappropriate time.
Yeah, inappropriate. That's the word. Simple word. Yeah, but I think so.
I've been hitting your knee coming in.
I know, it's just thrown me for one. But I feel like because of everything that's going on at the moment, we haven't got a lot of news this week. But there's a little bit that we will cover. I think some stuff's kind of gone under the radar a little bit. And maybe I think sometimes if they've got some news that's not huge and they push it under the rug, they'll go, there's this big thing going on. Just get it out there now.
Quick.
Yeah. But one thing that obviously wasn't planned, Sean Connery passed away. How old was he? 92 something?
Or 93 or something?
Yeah. Apparently he's been sick for quite a while. I didn't see if there was any reports on what he passed away
90.
from or anything?
90,
yeah. But apparently he'd been battling an illness for a while. So that kind of came out a few days ago that he'd passed away. He's a guy that's done a lot of great movies. Looking back over
his last film, 2012.
Yeah.
Was his last film?
Yeah, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, terrible.
No, that was 2003.
Yeah, but the only other things he's done after that is like voiceover stuff.
Documentaries, video game.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Voiceover. So he retired. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was so bad, he retired.
Pushed him into retirement.
It pushed him into retirement. It was so bad. He's like, I'm not doing this anymore.
He was 70.
Get me out
he would
of
have
here.
been 73 at the time.
Yeah. So I've written down. We've got like quite a lot of movies here that we've written down. We kind of looked over his filmography yesterday. And we're like, shit, he did a lot.
Oh, he did
like
some
everyone's
great
like
stuff.
thinking, oh, James Bond, but fuck, he's done heaps of stuff. One of his earliest films, Derby.
Some of his James Bond films are some of the only James Bond films I like.
Oh yeah. Well, he did one in 1959 called Darby O'Gill and the Little People. It was this Disney musical. It's about leprechauns and stuff. Yeah, it's a fun film.
And they used little people in the...
No, they used... It was actually... It sounds silly, but it was actually a very important film, technically. They used like the Lord of the Rings effect where you have someone closer to the camera and you have someone further away. Forced perspective sort of things. And then
focus.
And then like green screen stuff or whatever it was at the time, which was sort of like it was like more of a technical like...
double exposure sort of thing.
Yeah, sort of like, and like... They do things with whatever. Don't want to go into too deep, but it was technically innovative film. It's a great film. It's very cheesy, and have Sean Connery in there singing is quite funny to see. But yeah, he did quite a few James Bond films. He did Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, Diamonds Are Forever. So he did 6 official ones, and then he did the unofficial Never Say Never Again. Which in 1983, which is 12 years after Diamonds Are Forever.
You explained to me yesterday why they called it Never. Never Say Never Again.
Well, he did the first 4 Bond, or the first 5 of his Bond films he did, and then he quit. He's like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm tired of it. George Lazenby came in and did On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and then he came back to do one more. It was almost like, I'll take one last paycheck. So he came back and did Diamonds Are Forever. And then on the press for that film, someone asked him at some press conference, will you be back as James Bond? And he said, never. I'll never do another one. So they've made this unofficial James Bond film. There's like a whole legal thing behind it. It was technically made. It's a whole technical thing about which one considers unofficial because it wasn't made by the same production team. But they made it because the writer of the books, Ian Fleming, had the rights to make a movie on Thunderball. Was it Thunderball? It was one of the Bond films they'd already made. No, it was the one under the water. That really bad one.
Another one.
Was that Thunderball? I can't even remember. It might have been, I don't know. Thunderball.
Thunderball.
Yeah, the one where they go under the water. So Never Say Never Again was a remake of Thunderball because Ian Fleming had the rights to make a movie on Thunderball. So they remade it. Okay. Anyway, so it's unofficial because it wasn't made by the official production team, but they got Sean Connery back, and because he'd said, I'll never do James Bond again, they called it Never Say Never Again. That's the only James Bond.
That's funny as hell.
That's the only James Bond I actually haven't seen, but yeah, that's fun. Apparently it's awful, and it's just like Thunderball. It's like they just remade Thunderball.
God.
He did a Hitchcock film called Marnie, with Tippi Hedren, who was also in Hitchcock's The Birds.
Oh, I vaguely remember
Really
that.
good, very good. Very good movie.
So a lot of his older films I would have watched when I was younger.
Yeah. I'm sure you would have seen it. It's a classic. Robin and Marion. I haven't seen this one, but this is with Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah, I've seen that one. So I do remember that one.
He was Robin Hood, and then Audrey Hepburn was Marion, made Marion.
It's just a film.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently it's not great. Highlander, terrible.
Piece of shit.
Terrible. But
Your mother loved that.
Mum loved it.
She said it was great. You had to watch it. And I watched it. And I just thought that's a piece
years
of
ago.
Shit.
Years ago it was out. And she never buys DVDs or anything. But I remember being out with her. She's like, "Oh, I have to get Highlander." What? So she's like, "I have to get it. It's so good." And we watched it. It was awful.
Did she see it on TV or something? Did you?
I don't know. She said she watched it when it first came out and loved it.
Maybe she went to the cinema with her sister. Maybe.
Probably. But it's one of those movies that has like a huge cult following. Like, huge. People love it. There's that joke in just Talladega Nights where Ricky Bobby says the best movie ever made, and he tells Sacha Baron Cohen's character, what's his name? Jean Girard or whatever his name was, says, Harley, you have to watch Highlander, it's the best movie ever. And there's the bit at the end where they're racing next to each other and he pulls next to him and goes, I watched Highlander, it's a piece of shit, or something. Time Bandits he was in. I don't remember him in Time Bandits. I haven't watched that for a long time.
I don't recall him in it either.
Yeah, but apparently was in it. That was the Terry Gilliam film, very Monty Python-esque film.
Not one of my favourite films. I'm a huge Monty Python fan.
I never went back
Monty
to
Python.
it. One that he did do that was fantastic was The Untouchables.
Oh, I reckon one of his
classic.
Best roles.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That was
definitely.
Brilliant. That was brilliant.
Definitely. Loved that. Kevin Costner, of course. It's about the tracking down, I almost said they're tracking down Al Pacino. That Robert De Niro is in it as, what's his name? Al Capone.
Yeah.
Not Al Pacino, Al Capone.
Al Capone.
Brilliant movie. And yeah, Sean Connery's so good in that. So good.
His death scene in that's brilliant.
Oh, yeah. Right at the end.
Really good.
Oh, so good. One of my favourites. Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade.
Oh, yeah.
Third one. Great film.
Yeah.
Great film. It was never my favourite James Bond, but I love it. It's better than
James Bond.
Oh, James Bond. Indiana Jones. But I watched that. I watched all three of them over and over and over again.
Just a few times.
Yeah, such a great series. And that was, brilliant.
And they made that fourth one. And
oh, yeah. I see. I just completely forgot there was a fourth one. I actually forgot there was a fourth one.
The first half of that was
terrible.
Really good.
Yeah.
And then those bloody aliens.
Well, when he starts swinging with the monkeys, it's a bit, what's going on? And then the aliens
and all of a
sudden
the spaceships arrive.
Terrible.
What the
so bad.
What's going on here?
Awful movie.
The Presidio?
Yeah, The Presidio. I haven't seen that, but apparently it's good.
No, it is really good. That's a really good film.
Yeah, with Mark Harmon. It looks good. Hunt for Red October.
Well, The Presidio is sort of in that same category, I reckon, as Hunt for Red October.
Yeah, I thought so.
Hunt for Red October is really good. I enjoyed that.
I don't know if I've watched all of it. I love the Jack Ryan films, but that's the only one I haven't watched.
You got to watch it.
Yeah, I know. I think it's long. I think that's why I never.
We've got it, haven't we?
I've got it. Yeah. I've got it on DVD and Blu-ray, but I never watched it. I think it's a long one, so I just never watched it. I don't know.
No, you got to watch it. It's
Alec Baldwin's Jack Ryan in that one.
He's good.
He did Rising Sun with Wesley Snipes, which was one of those movies that's just so trash that it's really good, enjoyable. Yeah. Same with, I didn't write it down here for some reason, but that one I watched a few weeks ago, Entrapment.
Yeah.
Just trash, but fun.
Yeah.
Just Cause, he did with Lawrence Fishburne. I watched that one recently as well. That's really good. I love that. Like a courtroom drama, sort of political thriller kind of thing. I love that kind of stuff. First Night, I watched recently as well. He's King Arthur in that. Mm-hmm. Richard Gere as Lancelot. Good movie.
Yep. He's not. I don't think he's in it much though.
No, you're thinking Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which is the Kevin Costner one. He's in it at the end for about 30 seconds.
End, that's right.
But First Night, he's in it like most of the way as King Arthur. He's in The Rock, Michael Bay film. One of the films Michael Bay did for Disney and Touchstone with Nick Cage, Ed Harris.
That's the only problem with that film.
Michael Bay.
Nick Cage.
Oh, Nick Cage. It's all right. It's
it's not a bad film.
Yeah, it's good fun. Good fun, just explosive action, stupid Michael Bay film we expect.
Yeah, exactly.
Finding Forrester was really good too.
I enjoyed that.
Really brilliant movie.
It's a really good film.
So that was his last really good one. And then of course League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was just terrible. And that made him pushed him into retirement. And then spent like 17 years doing voice work. And even then, it's only like 3 or 4 projects, a documentary, a video game, and a couple of just random little animated things that apparently weren't very good, but keep topping up a little bit of money.
Of course, there's a shitload more than that.
Oh, yeah, of course. They're just sort of just ones that I pulled out and like...
Dragonheart.
Well, not the good Avengers.
No. An older one back in 98.
That British, the movie version of the British TV series, The Avengers,
Medicine Man. What was Medicine Man?
I don't know.
I don't even know that one.
I don't know. Never heard of it. He's done a lot of shit that I've never heard of. That's why I didn't write them down in the document. That's why I didn't bother.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
But then there's other ones like Wind in the Line, A Bridge Too Far, First Great Train Robbery, Anderson Tapes. He did a version of Macbeth, Name of the Rose, 1974 version of Murder on the Orient Express. These are all like classics. I haven't seen them. But
Orient Express is good.
Yeah.
I remember watching that.
I have it. I have to watch it.
I've not heard of The Wind in the Line, though.
Yeah, apparently really good.
Bridge Too Far I've seen. Yeah. Great Train Robbery I've seen.
Yeah.
Macbeth, I don't know.
Yeah.
If I've seen it or not.
I think it's Macbeth, a TV. I think it was a TV version he did before, like even that Disney one. But yeah, so he's done a lot of good stuff, and he's passed away, and
very sad.
Very sad. Very sad. He's a great actor. Brilliant.
90 years of age. He had a really good innings and
run.
A great career.
Yeah.
Great career.
So let's have a look at. There's a little bit of news sort of coming this week. Something interesting. Variety released a chart of the top 30 most streamed films this year. Don't look yet. It is. I've got it there for you, but don't look. I mean, what do you think was like the number one most streamed film of the year?
Probably Borat or
close,
something like that.
Well, Borat came in at number 2.
Oh, that's not a bad guess.
Yeah, number 1 was Hamilton.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the film stage
version
of Hamilton. Yeah,
that's bizarre.
Yeah. There was a lot of Hamill fans, as they call them out there.
Oh.
I thought it was brilliant. I watched it twice.
Oh, there you go.
I loved it.
You're the reason.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there'll be people just watching it over and over again. Really? People can't get to the theatre, and obviously, everything that's going on. Just this is the only time, obviously, they've released a filmed version of the show.
The stage show.
And it was a filming of the original Broadway cast. So it's the original. They've released soundtracks before, but only the cast, like the version they record in a studio. So this is the first time like actual audio and visual and everything from the actual stage show has been released. So it was huge.
I just find that's a bizarre film.
Yeah, I thought it surprised me as well. It surprised me too, but I think once you break it down, it's almost like, it's something that I guess you can have on in the background as well. If you're just cooking dinner or
maybe
vacuuming or whatever, you can just have it in the back. Yeah, but it's crazy. Hamilton, the movie.
Wow.
I watched it. I watched it once when because I did the review for it, and I loved it. I thought it was great, and then I just had it on one afternoon while I was working. It's so good. I'd love to see it on the stage. It's really good. The music is fantastic.
I've only seen bits and pieces of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Yeah, but no, so that's Hamilton's at number 1.
I should make the effort to watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it again. It's so good. That's why it's number 1, because it's just. But like the top 30, you've got
Board at 2, yeah.
Board at 2. My Spy was at number 3. That was that film with Dave Bautista and the young girl.
Yep.
I forget the young girl's name, but it's just like a spy, like family spy film. Yep. Apparently it's okay, but that makes sense for like a family film to be up there. Extraction at number 4, that's that Chris Hemsworth one that was on Netflix. Yeah. Phineas and Ferb, the movie.
Great, that was right.
Yeah, it's enjoyable enough. Action film, so it makes sense. Phineas and Ferb, the movie, animated thing. I enjoyed it. I'd never watched Phineas and Ferb, the TV show, but I watched the film and thought it was quite good.
I don't think I didn't see it.
You didn't see it. Mulan is at number 6.
That doesn't surprise me.
Doesn't surprise me, but
I thought it'd be a little bit higher. But
it shows me that people did turn out for it.
Yeah.
After all.
But is it part of your subscription now? It's not an extra?
No, not yet. Not until December.
Oh, okay. So people did pay for it.
Paid for it. And it's number 6. And it's got a little star next to it. I'm assuming that means pay-per-view, or I don't know, because none of the others have a star next to it. I'm assuming that's what that is. Old Guard, which was the Charlize Theron action flicks, at number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Trial of the Chicago 7 at number 8.
That was a great film.
Roald Dahl's The Witches. That's only come out 2 weeks ago. Or a couple of weeks ago.
And that's at number 9.
That's at number 9 on HBO Max. And
Chicago 7 was only...
Oh, it was only a couple of weeks ago as well. 3
weeks ago.
The Lovebirds at number 10. It's got... I can't remember who was in that. It was a... I think Kumail Nanjiani was in that one. And it was it was a Paramount film, and it was supposed to go to cinemas, but this is one of the first kind of ones that they that they sold off to a streamer at the beginning of the pandemic. So Kumail Nanjiani was in that, and Issa Rae as well. Apparently, it's like just a romantic comedy film. supposed to be quite good. So that's up there. That makes sense. And one that's interesting is 11, Rebecca, Netflix film, which is only, again, a couple of weeks old. I really wanted to see it, but everyone's saying it's not very good. So it's got Lily James in it, who I love.
Armie Hammer.
And Armie Hammer, who's great too. So I do want to watch that. And it's a remake of a Hitchcock film. Well, Hitchcock did a version of it. It's based on a novel. It looks okay.
Pretty average sort of rating.
Yeah. So there's a list of like the top 30, and you've got heaps of stuff like Stargirl, Greyhound, Palm Springs, One and Only Ivan, Clouds.
Black is King. What's that one?
There was that Beyonce, it was like that like music clip kind of thing. It was just not my kind of thing. I'm not a big fan of Beyonce's music. It was like tried to tell the Lion King through music, and anyway. Yeah. But we've got 11 Netflix films on the list. They take out the top 11. Disney Plus is second with 8 films on the list. Amazon Prime had 4, HBO Max and Hulu had 4 as well. Oh, no, I think they had 2. And then Apple TV only had 1, which was Greyhound. But to be fair, they've only put out a couple of films. Greyhound at number 24, down to the bottom. But it was a good film. So that's quite interesting to see, actually, kind of see what movies are performing well. Obviously, Netflix takes the top. It's actually just quite interesting to have a look at.
A couple of surprises in that.
Yeah.
Particularly number one, that's...
Yeah, Hamilton.
Yeah.
Crazy. But Borat, well, that's funny. Borat's been out like 2 weeks, and that's at number 2.
Yeah.
And people paid to get Amazon to watch Borat. Of course they did. God. Bloody Borat. Brilliant. Of course, I dressed as Borat last week. We won't go there again.
This week, Borat.
This week. Disney has delayed a couple of films again. A couple of Fox films they've inherited from Fox. What was Fox at the time, now 20th Century Pictures. Free Guy, which is the one with Ryan Reynolds, where it's like a video game sort of thing. He like steps into like a video game kind of world. I don't know. But it looks quite good. And Death on the Nile, which is the sequel follow-up to Murder on the Orient Express. They've both been dropped from the schedule indefinitely. So they haven't even been given a new release date. So it's kind of raised questions, right, what's happening?
Wow. Are they still in production?
Well, they're done. They're finished. They should have been out already, months ago.
Might just sit on the shelf for a couple of years.
Yeah. So people are saying, is it going to go to Disney Plus? Well, it probably won't go to Disney Plus because they're like more adult things. So does it go to Hulu? Will they be Star exclusives when Disney Plus opens that? Well, it's supposed to be that add-on to Disney Plus, which is Star with the more adult features. Yeah. Is it going to go there? Or will they open it in cinemas? They're just not going to give it a release date just yet. And so opens all these questions. The interesting thing was, of course, this follows Pixar's Soul, which went to streaming a few weeks ago. They announced that Soul was going direct to streaming on Christmas Day. And people were saying then, all right, so why does Soul have to be relegated to Disney Plus when you're releasing Free Guy and Death on the Nile? You're going, how can you put movie? The big thing was, we can't open Soul because it's too unsafe to go to the movies and stuff. All right, then why are you opening Free Guy and Death on the Nile? Well, they're not now. But
no one can watch them anyway.
No, exactly. But the thing is, Fox and Disney, or 20th Century Pictures and Disney, are still very separate divisions, especially overseas. Here, they're more of they're more one of the same. They have separate teams, but it's still part of that same sort of thing. You get a bit of crossover, whereas overseas, I have to deal with two very, very different teams. They're still just very complete, especially with home media. If I want to request a Blu-ray of X-Men or something from the Fox side, 20th Century side, I have to talk to the 20th Century guy. So if I go to my contact at Disney, she'll say, "I'm sorry, I can't help you. You have to speak to the guy over at Fox." Whereas here, It's kind of like
a bit
of the same thing, but overseas very much separated things. So obviously business decisions are being made by different people. Disney have made their decision about Soul, and then 20th Century Pictures have made their decision about Free Guy and Death on the Nile. So what happens with those two films, we don't know. Blake, one of our patron supporters, a very long-time supporter, submitted a question, actually. I thought I'd bring it up here instead of readdressing it later. He said, with this announcement, do you think we should be worried for future Fox releases out of Disney? They've actually got quite a few titles on there that they inherited from Fox. They're just slowly putting them out.
Well, yeah, they'll be a slow burn by the sound of it.
Yeah. As far as I'm aware, I'm trying to think. As far as I'm aware, I'm not sure if they have any in active production. Other than these movies that are probably releasing over the next year, I believe they're probably in some sort of, I think some of them are probably like in in post-production or whatever. But I don't know if there's any of them in actual active production. So
maybe they'll eventually burn off the Fox.
Well, that's the worry.
Studio.
But see, the thing is that you would hope that they would use 20th Century the way they used to use Touchstone, is that make more adult features like Free Guy, like Death on the Nile, and use that Fox banner to do that.
But it doesn't sort of go with Walt Disney's philosophy, doesn't it? Put your name on the door.
Well, that's why Bob Iger shut down Touchstone Pictures in the first place, because it wasn't. That's not where their money is. Their money
sounds like they might go the same way. They
maybe
burn off. Production houses and stuff that aren't original Disney, or change their name and or incorporate them in other Disney.
Well, yeah. Well, you got Marvel, you got Pixar, you got Star Wars. They're so very much ingrained in Disney now.
Yeah,
but then you've got like 20th Century Pictures. It's almost like they've bought it, they've released the last batch of films, and then who knows what's going to happen next.
Put it to bed and start bringing everything out under Disney.
That's kind of sad, because then you've got, obviously because Fox was such a huge, one of the big, like 4 or 5 studios.
Oh, exactly right.
And then there's going to just be this big gap now where there's no... like that kind of, it's going to limit the kind of movies you're going to get at cinemas now. It's a worry.
I think you probably still get the same sort of film, but it's just going to be under a different banner.
Yeah, and maybe more watered down probably though. That's the only worry if they're going to put it out at Disney. Although I think I think they're probably more taking more risks these days, Disney. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to keep tabs on that. But yeah, that was a shock. That was just dropped indefinitely and not like, oh, yeah, we'll do it next year. It's just gone from the list. Crazy.
Cool.
There's rumours floating around that Wonder Woman 1984 has been delayed again until June next year.
What's that about, the third or fourth time?
It was originally supposed to be June this year, then it went to August, then it went to October, and then it went to Christmas Day, and now it's gone to June. They are adamant to get this movie out in cinemas. There's been so many rumours, it's going straight to digital. They'll drop it on HBO Max. But no, they're adamant. We want this in cinemas.
It's costing a few dollars, that's why.
Yeah.
I want their money back.
But they've been adamant from the beginning. Patty Jenkins, who's the director of the film, has come out multiple times, been like, no, this is a cinematic experience. We're releasing it in cinemas, and it's definitely happening. And I think because of what was essentially a flop with TENET, Christopher Nolan's TENET, they've gone, let's not do that again.
Yeah. But it's probably a film that needs to be at the cinema.
Oh, for sure.
Like all those big...
For sure.
Blockbuster, as they're called, films.
Yeah.
Superhero films and all that sort of things. They need to be seen at the cinema.
Yeah.
To really appreciate
about
everything about them.
Scale of it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Exactly right.
It's not something I want to watch.
So imagine TENET. Imagine TENET. I don't know. I don't really know a lot about it, but I imagine that would be one.
I think people
would be easy enough to watch at home.
Yeah, I think people who watch it at cinemas don't really know much about it either, by the sounds of it. But yeah, I think that's like, I don't know. Yeah, obviously big scale film, IMAX, all that stuff. It would be great to see the spectacle, but at the end of the day, I would rather go and see Wonder Woman in cinemas than TENET.
Yeah, really. Exactly right.
Speaking of TENET, though, it's heading for a physical release. They announced just yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's coming to a Blu-ray, 4K, DVD in December.
Oh.
Yeah. No word on the UK. There's a US release and Australian release coming out. It's 15th in the USA, 16th in Australia. There's word that is coming out on the 14th in the UK, but it's not official. But anywhere else I haven't heard anything about yet. I was essentially just following that trend of it was in cinemas 3 or 4 months ago. Let's drop it on physical. Really, a lot of people, the best chance they're going to get to see Tenet is
at home.
At home.
I wonder. I still think it might get a release here.
Well, it's been released here, just not in Melbourne.
Oh, yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I reckon there'll be a few films in Melbourne that they'll show.
Has to be.
I would think.
Yeah, I'd be disappointed. I don't know.
Maybe that'll be part of the next reduction of restrictions. Cinemas.
Yeah, well, they still haven't. We spoke about that last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
There's no word yet on what's happening. Maybe Sunday we'll hear something.
Hopefully Sunday we'll hear.
But yeah,
but I reckon may see a short, limited release of it.
Hopefully,
cinemas
at least at the IMAX.
Because once the cinemas open, they're going to have something to show. Yeah. They can't show old shit.
But it's just that will depend on the distributor and whether the distributor gives them the right to do it.
Yeah, good point.
So it's all in their hands, and if they've already put it on physical, they might go. I think they'd have to. They'll make a bit more money. They'd have to do it. Same with Mulan. Which, by the way, is also coming to physical media this week. This week,
really?
Yeah.
When was that announced? Do you know?
Wasn't announced.
Oh, sneaky.
Yeah, it's just sort of happening. It's been word. I've kind of known for a few weeks it was going to happen. I reached out to a contact at Disney last week. It was just sort of like, will there be any press copies of Mulan available? I understand it's coming out soon. Yeah, there'll be copies available of that. Okay, so that's coming out, but it wasn't like an exact like confirmation of a date or anything. But it's coming out next week, but because pre-order links have started dropping.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's gonna be open. It's gonna be available to buy in store November 10th in the US, Australia November 11th. They're the only two release dates that have been announced. Pre-orders for Australia went up this morning. No fanfare or anything. Just dropped on JB, Amazon, Easy DVD, Sanity. Sanity is saying they have
Sanity.
Yeah, they're still around.
Are they?
Yeah, interstate. They've got stores open still interstate.
Didn't know that.
They're quite big interstate still. Easy DVD's online only now, but Sanity apparently have stock and it's available now. So that's interesting. But US has been a little bit different. A couple of places have had pre-orders go up and then they come down straight away, and then they go back up and they come down again. And then there's one or two smaller retailers that have them up for order. But essentially, it's coming out next week. It's happening. But Disney have made no fanfare over it. No press release. Now Disney, usually if they do a reissue, if they say, for example, bring out Toy Story on 4K, they don't do a press release because it's a reissue. But for a big, blockbuster event film, there's always a press release that breaks down special features.
And you can get a press release at the time around.
No, nothing. It's quiet. It's just dead, silence. Now, granted, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I know some of the Disney home media team have been a little bit out of action during the pandemic. I've said it in the past, it's kind of hard to get in touch with some people, but they've been out of action a little bit. So maybe they just didn't have time to put a press release out. But I kind of feel it's almost like they don't want to make a big deal out of it because they don't want to detract from the fact that it's still on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Or they don't want to piss people off by making a big deal. Get Mulan on Blu-ray when 2 months ago it was get Mulan exclusively on Disney Plus for $30.
Pay your $30. Yeah.
And now 2 months later it's on Blu-ray and 4K and DVD.
That's probably right.
It's just kind of in this way they're doing it. No pre-orders, no press release. It's just almost materialized. It's just going to be on shelves. It's just going to be available. Bang. So it's a bit of a sneaky way of doing it. I don't know. I'm not 100% on board with the way that's been done. But again, there could be things going on in the background that have limited the movements on how they've had to. Maybe they've just gone, fuck, what do we do? We're supposed to put it in cinemas. They've probably... When movies are in cinemas, the Blu-rays and stuff are already done. They're authoring the Blu-rays. They're making special features. They're getting all that done while the film's still in cinemas. 3 months later, they're ready to go out on shelves. So there's been I imagine there's probably just been boxes of Mulan discs just floating around at some distribution factory in the US.
Already put together 6 months ago.
Yeah, and it's like, all right, let's just finally get them out there.
Yeah.
I've been saying it the whole time. I'm saying I can guarantee you there is boxes of this film just waiting to go on shelves.
Sitting somewhere.
And then they're just going to drop them. And it's what's happened right now. So the interesting thing was New Mutants came out with a press release. But again, that's 20th Century Pictures. So they have a separate team, and then that team handles things a bit differently. But then I do think that Mulan, it is a bit strange that, again, it was on Disney Plus exclusively, and then it went to streaming with no fanfare, if you remember, a few weeks back, and then now it's going to be on home media just all of a sudden. So it's a little bit strange.
Well, they're going to make their money back on it. It was
exactly
a huge
right.
film.
And I'm happy it's coming to home media. This has been the question. Everyone's been saying, it's going to come on Blu-ray. I want to buy a physical copy. I've been saying, just calm it. It's coming. Yeah. I can guarantee you it'll be out. And this gives me a little bit more assurance that Soul will probably get a physical release as well.
It'll have to.
I imagine
that's going to be the same issue because they're not going to make their money back in cinemas.
Exactly.
So they're going to have to
and they're not charging you for it on Disney Plus. It's going up for free. So I guarantee again, that was supposed to be out months ago too. Yeah. There's probably boxes somewhere out there with a bunch of Soul on Blu-ray and 4K just sitting waiting to come out. So I'm pretty sure it's probably going to happen.
Probably just before Christmas.
Probably, yeah. Well, no, it won't because it's Christmas Day the film comes out. So a couple of months after that. Yeah.
New Year's special.
Yeah, maybe. A week, that'll annoy people. Well, it wouldn't annoy people so much because they don't have to pay the extra for Soul. Yeah, I think the thing with Mulan was I just paid $30 and it's locked into Disney Plus, and now I could have bought the Blu-ray. The way that it was all rolled out, I mean, again, whether Disney did it, but
they were just testing the market too.
Yeah, and then they've gone, oh shit, it didn't work out that well.
Knew they made a bit of a mistake doing it the way they did it, and
exactly.
Thought let's do a different way with Soul.
Yeah.
With Soul.
Yeah.
And see if it works any better.
Exactly. Now, there is something funny that's coming to Disney Plus. It's called the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh, God, here we go. Another bloody Legos film.
Yeah. It's a bit of a riff on the... I just spilled my water everywhere here. They did a Star Wars Holiday Special in 1978, the year after the original Star Wars film opened. Awful. Yep, only played it once, and George Lucas has been trying to bury it ever since. It was terrible. It was like a musical. There were songs. There was just a really terrible story, and it was like all about the environment. And the Wookiees were celebrating Life Day, and it was just so non-Star Wars. And they tried to bury it, but the interesting thing is they're kind of acknowledging it a bit now, almost like a bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing. They've put out a Disney Plus have put out a trailer. They've got a bit of a
following those Lego films now, haven't they?
Well, the Lego films do, yeah. And let's take a look. Let's going to take a very quick look at the trailer for the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special coming to Disney Plus. A couple of weeks' time.
'Twas the night before Life Day, in a galaxy far, far away.
Looking good. Tree, food, decorations.
Coming together heroes were to celebrate the day.
Please be a cape. Please be a cape.
It's a wrap! For Rey, adventure called, and she thought it would be fast.
Wow.
But there she found a key to the galaxy's past.
Master Luke, what are you doing?
My son. I mean, these binary sons.
Unta solos?
You want to shoot first?
After you.
There you go.
I love that.
Looks like a bit of fun, doesn't it?
I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, we'll watch that.
That is a bit of fun.
So it's
I love that little line. Let it be. Please be Kate. Please be Kate. Please be Kate. He pulls out. And goes, it's a wrap.
Yeah, but it looks fun. I think it's probably going to be like a 20-minute thing, maybe a half-hour thing. And there's obviously Lucasfilm is now game enough to just kind of take the piss out of this like 40-plus-year-old holiday special now. George Lucas has been trying to bury it for years. I don't know, maybe is this the time where they finally go, okay, let's release that old holiday special, drop it on Disney Plus, or we'll see how this goes. Hopefully. It's just taking the piss out of it. But the thing with the original holiday special is it was supposed to be like really serious, but it was just so shit.
Yeah.
Which is why, again, George Lucas has been trying to bury it. But that looks fun.
That looks like a hell of a lot of fun.
It looks like a lot of fun.
I really want to see that.
Yeah.
Do I have to go back and watch some of the other Lego films now? Have you watched any of them?
We've watched the Lego movie.
Yeah.
But I don't think we watched the second one. I haven't seen the Batman one. We have them. And then I think there's a lot of television ones as well, like this. So there's a lot of sequels.
If the others are done in that sort of tone, it'll be great. That'll be great.
I played some of the games. I played the Star Wars Lego game, which was quite fun. I actually went out on Twitter and I asked people what they were thinking about this because I thought, this is an interesting thing to see what people are thinking out there, because you know what Star Wars fans are like. There's people either going to love it or people going to hate it, right? Most people are saying it's going to be quite good. Angelo says Disney Star Wars is finally making fun of itself, which is objectively a good thing.
Yep.
Jane Swaldo says, time for John Tron Show to revive Starcade. We found a Star Wars holiday special that may be worse than the old one. Josh says, honestly, it looks like a lot of fun, a perfect special to watch during the holidays, and a nice breather from the stress of 2020.
Yeah.
IMAX Studios, this is going to be so good. I love Lego Star Wars. Combined with the Christmas special equals epic. Ray says, from an animation standpoint, I've never liked the Lego movies. I don't know if it's how their movement is restricted or what. The actual animation techniques are amazing and the story and jokes are on point, but never found the movements appealing. Tyler Rogers says, I like the idea. Having it be a Lego special would make a lot of sense for where they are going with this. And I think the humour found in the previous Lego Star Wars specials and games would work for a holiday special, which doesn't take itself so seriously. Ben Stokes says, big shoes to fill. Ben Stokes, awesome guy. He's the guy that does the podcast with the floating heads.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
And Pulp Cereal says they're literally doing this to try and erase the other one from history. This one will come up first in search results from now on. They've already made people forget about those two Ewok movies. I didn't even know they existed until two critics mentioned them. Yeah. So anyway, it looks like a bit of fun. That's coming out in a couple of weeks' time. Billy D. Williams is reprising Lando in this. We've got Matt Lanter and James Arnold Taylor and Tom Kane from Clone Wars as Anakin, Obi-Wan and Yoda, respectively. Anthony Daniels is back as C-3PO. Never lets anyone else voice C-3PO. And the only returning member from the prequel trilogy is Kelly Marie Tran, who is reprising Rose Tico. I think she's a champ for returning because she was bullied, essentially, off social media by Star Wars fans, and has just. But she's awesome for coming back. And obviously Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac are nowhere to be seen. They're all done with it. Wash their hands. Surprised me that Daisy Ridley didn't come back because she has done a voice. She's voiced Rey in Lego video games and other animated things. But no,
are they too good for it? Are they?
Maybe she's just charging too much now because she's a big name. Who knows? But as far as the other two, they've definitely wiped their hands with Star Wars. I wouldn't expect to see them back.
If it was my character, I wouldn't let anybody else play.
No, I'd be doing it for sure, even if it's a reduced rate or whatever. But you never know. They just want to move on, I suppose, or they were charging too much. Who knows?
Or the other.
A couple of random movie announcements here. We're going
whip through them.
We try and whip through them because we're going quite far over time today. We got a Wedding Crashers sequel apparently coming up.
Oh, I hope it's as good as the first one.
Well, Vince Vaughn has been advertising his latest film. It's called Freaky. It's like a slasher horror comedy film from Blumhouse. And he was advertising this. He spoke to Entertainment Tonight and said, Owen and I, of course, Owen Wilson. Wow. Owen and I and the director of Crashers, David Dobkin, have been talking for the first time seriously about a sequel to the movie. So there's been an idea that is pretty good. So we're talking about that in early stages. Do we want one?
Oh, yeah.
I think we want one.
Yeah,
the first one came out in 2005, 15 years ago.
That long ago?
Yeah, it's one of the first teen films I remember seeing at the cinemas.
My goodness.
And I have a feeling because it was rated M15, Mum would have had to come and take... I saw it with my friend Lockie, and I'm sure Mum would have had to come with us to buy the ticket because it was an M-rated film. You had to have a parent buy the ticket for you.
15 plus.
They didn't have to be in the cinema with you, but they had to buy the ticket. But if it was MA 15 plus, you had to have the adult. Me and Lockie tried to get into Miami Vice. Miami Vice. Mum was there, went to buy the ticket for a second. They were like, no, sorry, we can't do it. Can't let you go and see it. So we end up seeing Snakes on a Plane instead, which was just trash. So that'll be interesting to see if that eventuates and how it eventuates. I hope so too. It'll be a lot of fun.
Some good stuff together.
Yeah. There's one coming out, or there's one that's just been announced called Molly and the Moon. It's got Kristen Bell and Jonathan Groff, both from Frozen. They're set to star in the original live-action musical comedy Molly on the Moon from How I Met Your Mother creators Carter Bays and Craig Thomas. It's their feature film debut. It's been described as a story inspired by Thomas's personal crisis concerning the birth of his son Elliot, who was born with a rare genetic condition that resulted in him getting several heart defects and open heart surgery at only 2 weeks old. So it's apparently like a drama, but it's going to have like comedic elements in it.
It's a musical.
It's a musical.
Oh, why? Why?
You don't like musicals. Yeah. Well, Bay says they wanted to make it feel like classic live-action fantasy movies of our childhood, like Labyrinth and the Dark Crystal.
They can do that without bloody crappy
Making
music.
It a musical.
Making a musical?
Yeah. It's going to be very Disney, really, isn't it?
Oh, it's not one I'm going to look forward to, I'll tell you right now.
No. I'll watch it. I'm not a huge musical fan, but I can deal with it.
Oh.
It doesn't say whether it's... it says live action, so it's a live action thing. But we have an animated thing that's been announced.
I can't say I've never watched musicals.
Yeah.
There's a couple
you
that
just
I
don't
enjoyed.
like them.
Across the Universe was great.
Oh, yeah, you love that one.
But that was
only because it's Beatles music. Yeah. There's been
Sam.
Beatles music again. The Amazing Maurice is an animated movie that's coming out has been announced.
That sounds okay.
It's got Hugh, Laurie and Emilia Clarke set to star in that one. It's also going to star David Thewlis, Himesh Patel, Gemma Arterton, Hugh Bonneville. It's produced by a bunch of just different animated houses around the UK and Greater Europe. It's produced by Sky. Variety says it's an adaptation of best-selling author the late Terry Pratchett's 2001 book, The Amazing Maurice and His Educated Rodents, which is part of his iconic Discworld series. The book is a take on the popular folktale about the Pied Piper of Hamelin. It follows a streetwise ginger cat who has the perfect money-making scam. He finds a kid who plays a pipe and also befriends his very own horde of talking rats when they reach the stricken town of Bad Blintz. Their con game goes awry. Sounds like a bit of fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Animated thing. So
Doesn't
I
sound too
guess
bad.
if that's being produced by Sky, will that go to streaming? Maybe, probably. Not too sure.
More than likely.
Yeah. There's one called Gold being shot in Australia at the moment with Zac Efron. Zac Efron's recently been spotted around Byron Bay.
Well, he was reportedly bought a house in Byron Bay. Zac Efron as well.
As well, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
because he's good friends with Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, yeah.
From what I read an article probably only last week, probably a couple of weeks ago actually, where it said that it was rumoured that he'd just bought a property in Byron Bay because he's good mates with Hemsworth and spent a lot of time sleeping on his couch.
Oh, really?
So he decided to buy a house there.
Well, his girlfriend's Australian. And that he's been spotted down here, and everyone's like, "Why?" But yeah, he's doing.
I might be
film
speaking
here.
shit, but that's
you
what I
could
read.
be, maybe. But there you go. But yeah, Channel 9. It's going to go straight to Stan streaming service here in Australia. Channel 9, who owns Stan, says it's set against the backdrop of the Australian outback. It's a thriller about greed and the lengths people will go to secure themselves a fortune. When two drifters travelling through the outback stumble across the biggest gold nugget ever found, the dream of immense wealth takes hold. Things get tense from there. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Stan original film.
Like gold. Gold.
I like gold too.
Gold. Zac Efron.
Yeah, he's good fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was going to say Matt Damon apparently bought a house in Byron Bay as well. $22 million.
$22 million.
Christ.
My
Apparently
God.
got a heated infinity pool, tall ceilings, open spaces to host large gatherings. That's one of the area's most prestigious homes, they're saying.
I was only reading that yesterday, actually.
Yeah, so there you go. Matt Damon's going to hunt it down.
Bay.
Yeah, crazy.
So there's a few coming down to Byron Bay to buy.
Yeah.
Byron Bay, for those who don't know, aren't Australians, Byron Bay was
Byron.
Well, internationals wouldn't. Brits wouldn't.
Byron Bay, well, I suppose not.
Was a real hippie. It was a real hippie town. In fact, a good friend of mine, her parents actually owned a place up there until their passing a few years back.
Lovely place.
But yeah, it was a hippie commune basically.
Yeah, Yeah, but there you
beautiful, beautiful part of the
go. Yeah,
world.
well, that's why they're buying there.
Absolutely beautiful.
We got
great surf, all that.
We got Palm Springs. We've got to move on because we're cutting real fine. Palm Springs. This is a film, critically lauded film. Audiences love it. Stars Andy Samberg and Kristen Milotti. It's directed by Max Barbacow. Its deadline says Milotti plays a lost and occasionally self-destructive bridesmaid to a younger sister getting hitched in the desert. A moving wedding toast from a fellow guest, Samberg, gets the pair talking, and they seem to be a decent match until a metaphysical event occurs, leaving the two with ample time to ponder the meaning of life and how it should be spent. This premiered at Sundance this January. Hulu snapped it up for $17,500,069, which broke the previous record for the highest sale of a film from Sundance by 69 cents. It went to Hulu, obviously, in the US, and select drive-ins in July. And everyone internationally have been like, how do we get to see this film? When do we get to see this film? It's because it's huge. Everyone's loving it. It netted, apparently on Hulu, netted more hours watched over its first 3 days than any other film in the platform's history. It's the 26th most streamed film of the year that we're talking about in the Variety chart. 94% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, 89% audience on Rotten Tomatoes as well. Everyone's been going, how do I get to see this film? It's finally coming. Amazon snapped it up for international release. So there's going to be like a slow rollout. Australia is going to get it on November 20th on Amazon Prime. Canada is getting it on December 18th. And UK and parts of Greater Europe, including France and the Netherlands, are getting it sometime early 2021. They haven't announced a date, but yeah. So that's good.
That's good.
Exciting.
That sounds good. Like Sandberg.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds fun. I didn't know too much about it, but I've heard a lot of people going on about it. Saying it's really good, and so, yeah, looking forward to that.
Well, it's got good critic scores and stuff, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, 94%.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Almost can't get better. Almost. But, yeah. SpongeBob, Sponge on the Run is another one. Very briefly, they've dropped internationally on Netflix. It's available everywhere except for the USA and Canada, because Canada got it in cinemas, and the USA is going to get it on Paramount Plus early next year. So,
well, Paramount Plus running yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, that's why they haven't.
So they're leaving it for their own streaming service in the States. But Netflix grabbed it over here because they got a deal with Nickelodeon.
It'll probably be released on opening of Paramount Plus.
Oh, yeah, probably.
First day.
I'd imagine so. But yes, available right now. Anywhere else in the world you are, you can check it out. I'm thinking about watching it, maybe doing a review, but I just don't have the time at the moment.
Yeah.
I got to find time.
You're a bit strapped at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, really am. Let's get a few subscriber listener questions in today.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, because we're going quite far over, almost over time.
Joshua Sablin. Mm-hmm. Is that how you pronounce it? Sablin?
I would say so.
In your opinion, Dave, what was the biggest Oscar snub of recent years?
I think A Star Is Born got totally snubbed. I love that film. It's one of my favourite films the last couple of years. I think Lady Gaga should have got Best Actress. Olivia Colman won for The Favourite. She was very good in that.
Cooper was great in that too.
Cooper was great. I think he got snubbed. Bloody Rami Malek won for Bohemian Rhapsody over Bradley Cooper in A Star Is Born. It should have won. I reckon it should have won Best Picture. Well,
Bradley
maybe
Cooper,
not.
Bradley Cooper acted in that.
Yeah.
And Rami Malek mimicked.
Oh, yeah, exactly right.
He just
did an impression.
Someone. That's all
I think
was.
Bradley Cooper should have won a Best Director award because the direction of that film is brilliant. It was up for Best Picture, which it didn't win. Maybe it shouldn't have won Best Picture, but Green Book won Best Picture that year, which was a big thing. There's so many good movies.
That was a good film that year.
Roma, Black Klansman, Black Panther, Vice, Bohemian Rhapsody was up for Best Picture, and I think that should have won it. But yeah, I think Black Swan got snubbed of Best Picture as well in 2011 over The King's Speech. Good movie, but The King's Speech...
Yeah, no.
I looked
King's
over...
Speech, that was Oscar bait.
Oh, yeah. But I looked over a list of movies that went up for Best Picture that year. The Fighter, Inception, Social Network, Toy Story 3, True Grit, Winter's Bone, Kids Are All Right, 127 Hours, and Black Swan, and King's Speech won.
Speech won it.
Whoa, man. So many good movies that year. That's almost like the best year for movies in more recent times.
Yeah, some great films amongst that.
Yeah.
Okay, move on.
Yep.
Captain Cat 101.
Yep.
Which animated movies are better? Disney Toon films, not including the direct-to-video sequels. Image Movers Digital
Yep.
or the animated films by Lucas.
I actually haven't watched any of the animated Lucas films unless you're counting like Clone Wars, so I probably wouldn't say that. Image Movers Digital only did 2 films, which was what's it called? Carol, A Christmas Carol, the Jim Carrey one, which I loved. We watch it every year. And then they did Mars Meets...
Which is going up on Disney, is it?
I mean, it's going up Disney Plus this month, yeah.
This month.
And then Mars Needs Mums, awful movie. And that killed the studio. That killed Image Movers. We were going to get like Roger Rabbit 2. They were going to remake the Beatles' Yellow Submarine. If it didn't, Mars Needs Mum didn't blow up. So I would probably say Disney Toon, because you got the Goofy movie, you got the DuckTales movie, the Winnie the Pooh things they did were quite good, yeah.
Loud House Fan 98. Have you seen Hey Arnold?
Oh, what do you mean?
Have you seen
Hey Arnold? I
Oh,
bloody
God,
grew up with that program.
Loved it.
I
And
loved
I actually
it.
enjoyed it too.
Yeah. I've got it all on DVD. I've watched it all multiple
Bought it
times.
the first day it was released.
Yeah,
didn't you?
rushed out.
Rushed out. We had to go to 2 different JBs to get them.
Yeah, they had the Rugrats and all of them came out, and I had to rush out and just get them. Yeah, great show.
Shy Sherman. I know Fantasia is your favourite. Is one of your favourites. Sorry, I'll start that again.
Yeah.
I know Fantasia is one of your favourites.
Yep.
So I was wondering which segment is your favourite.
Oh, well, it's one of my favourite Disney films ever. I'd probably say the Nutcracker, the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy segment.
Oh, yeah, brilliant.
I just love Tchaikovsky. Other than Mozart, is my favourite classical composer. I love the Nutcracker Suite, and that Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy segment is just so beautiful. Just the visual effects they employ with it, like the sparkle effects and everything, and just the way that the characters move so gracefully to the music is just perfect, like perfection. Amazing.
I like the dancing brooms.
Oh yeah, that's the Sorcerer's Apprentice segment. Yeah,
I like that. Ice Cream Hero.
Yeah.
When did you start getting obsessed with movies?
Jeez. When I was probably 7 or 8 years old, I'd imagine. I don't know, maybe earlier.
What was the first film? Cinema was Lion King.
The Lion King,
You were,
only
4?
5. Yeah, 4 years old. Probably then. I loved it. Yep.
Ice Luigi Star Pictures asks, what is your dream career?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. I've always loved just writing, telling stories, making things, making movies and stuff. I love what I'm doing now, but obviously I have bigger dreams to keep pushing and do bigger and greater things. I've got some plans, whether that's in the short term or the long term. I love what I'm doing now, but we just keep pushing and make some films or something. I don't know.
Making film.
Yeah.
Bryson Robinson, what will Tiny Toons University do now that Joe Alansky and Don Messick passed away?
Right. Joe Alansky.
What did I say?
Joe Alansky. We're getting tired. It's almost an hour and a half. So many people have been saying this, right? They announced the new Tiny Toons reboot, revival thing. You can't do it because the voice actors have passed away. Well,
of course you can.
You can. You replace them.
Yep.
Simple. You replace them. You get someone else to come in and they play. It's not like a live action role
Bugs
where
Bunny
someone
lives on, doesn't he?
Bugs Bunny. How many voice actors Bugs Bunny had? Like 4. Like Mel Blanc after he passed away, and then you've got like Billy West. You've got Eric Bowser's doing it at the moment, and there's been numerous other people who've done Bugs Bunny over the years. So what's the difference? Fred Flintstone. How many people have done Fred Flintstone? It's just like it's an animated thing. People can imitate voices. They just replace it. They get a new actor.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
Last one, Fandom Fair. What do you? Oh, it's in my voice.
Yeah.
What did you think is better in terms of story? Cars 2 or Ratatouille?
Ratatouille.
By far.
Gorgeous film. Story's amazing. Cars 2 is crap. Simple as that, really.
Yeah. Look, I enjoyed Cars 2 because I enjoyed Cars, but it wasn't the greatest story. But Ratatouille is a great story.
Great little story.
Beautifully made.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Beautifully made film.
Yeah.
Ratatouille, I reckon.
And before our voices go,
they've gone.
I think it's the end of the show. That is all. That's all we have time for. We got through it all in an hour and a half. Pardon me, which is awesome. You can find me on YouTube at Dave Lee Down Under, over on Twitter and Instagram at Dave Lee Down Under. It's all down in the description below. Just click through the links and you'll find it. Of course, this episode is going out on all podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. A visual element is available to view on YouTube. Goes out 2 days earlier to Patreon supporters. And if you want to support the Patreon for as little as $1 a month, you can go to www.patreon. Don't need the www. These days. So just go to patreon.com.
Only $1.
Only $1.
Cheapskate.
Yeah. Sign up. You will be charged up front. So no more Patreon dodgers. Just head patreon.com/Dave Lee Down Under for early access to this and certain big event videos and stuff. If you are listening on podcast platforms, please leave a review and a rating.
Only good ratings.
Only good ones, because they help. The bad ones don't. YouTube preview this week. Last week I just launched my Pixar ranking, the second volume, which focused on the golden age between 2006, 2010, covers Cars, Ratatouille, WALL-E, Up, and Toy Story 3. And so that's up there. You can go and check that out now. This week, I don't have any major videos out this week. I'm working hard to get my surprise cartoon evolution out there.
It's looking good too.
It's looking good. I've written it. I've recorded it. I have to edit the damn thing. And I'm just on a real tight schedule at the moment. I have to get that done this week. So that's probably not going to go up until next week. So there's no big event videos this week. So there'll be 2 weeks in a row where we'll get a cartoon evolution this month. So I think that more than truly makes up for it. I also need to I got to get cracking on that evolution for the end of the month. So as soon as this is finished, I'm straight onto that one.
Yep.
Researching, writing, recording, editing, all that. So that's got to get done. That's, of course, going to be Snoopy, Charlie Brown, and Peanuts, if you missed my announcement. So that'll be at the end of the month. I also have to get a bunch of reviews. Those Blu-rays I have to watch. I got to get them done. And oh my Lord, there's so much at the moment. So much at the moment. Like I said, I might get a SpongeBob review up this week, but I might not. It just depends on how much time I've got left. There's apparently a Pixar documentary going on Disney Plus this Friday. I don't know much about it. They haven't revealed much about it. I think it's going to be small, 5 to 10 minute episodes like that one day, that Disney thing. If I get time to do a review for that, I will. But again, I'm just so pressed for time. Again, if you want to run into the show, you can shoot an email to daveleepod@gmail.com. Otherwise, thanks for listening. Thanks to old mate Rick for joining me.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next week.
Take it easy.
Thanks, guys.
Stay safe.
Take care.